Here we go, some Latin. Cato by Cornelius Nepos. Cato, Ortus, he arose in a township Tusculus. He was an adolescent prior to direting operum, which means paying attention, giving work to the cursus honorum, before he had a career of getting power. This is where he was as a young man in this town. He versatus est, we'll take that as he lived, in Sabine territory, because Ibai, which means there, he had left to him an estate. He was an heir from his father. He had this estate. Inde, then, by the hortatu, by the encouragement of L. Valerius Flaccus, whom he had as a colleague in the consulship and his censorship, as M. Perpenna was accustomed to narrate, he migrated to Rome. Now, this guy here had previously been a censor. Censorius means an ex-censor. And he began in the forum to be. I don't know, that's where his job was then. He'd have lawyers and other sort of things going on there. 2. Meruit, he earned his first stipendium, payment for a military campaign, of the year Decem Septem, of 17 years of age. He went on a military campaign. Q. Fabius and M. Claudius being the consuls, he was the tribune of the military in Sicily. Then when he returned, he followed the camp of C. Claudius Nero. He was estimated, I guess highly, by his great works in the battle at Senna, in which Hasdrubal coquetted. He fell, the brother of Hannibal. 3. Quaestor. As a quaestor, he obtained this role for the consul Publius Africanus, the famous guy who defeated Hannibal. Cumque, with him, he didn't live with the necessity according to his lot should be. 4. He dissented with him perpetually in life. 4. He factus est, came to pass that he became a aedile of the plebs with Gaius Helvius. Praetor, he obtained the province of Sardinia, from which, as a quaestor in an earlier time, when he had left Africa, he had led the poet Ennius with him, who apparently didn't get on with too well. Quod non minor aestimus. So we think this is not of a minor thing than whatever ample triumphs he got in Sardinia. He guested at a consulship with Ulf Valerius Flaccus. By a lot, he had nactus, he had obtained the province of interior Spain, and from it, that qui means and, he carried off a triumph. He got a triumph from his ruling that province. 2. Ibi, there, when Diuitis, for a rather long time comparative, he delayed or lingered, P. Scipio Africanus, again consul, of who in a prior consulship Cato had been his quaestor, he wanted him to depel away, to go away from the province, leave the province, and for himself to succeed him. He wanted him to succeed him. But neither this was able to efficere, to happen, through the Senate, because of the Senate. When indeed Scipio had obtained the principate in the city, he'd obtained the chief man, he was the leader, but then, in those times, it was not by potentia, by power, but by law that the res publica was administrated. Quare ex re, if you take the ex, that's just quare, so it means therefore he was irate to the fourth declension Senate. With his consulship proacted or finished, as a private citizen he mansarded in the herb, he stayed in the city. But Cato, censor with the same Flaccus Factus, his maid, he was in charge, he was very severe when he was in charge of this powerful position or place. 4, which means nem, which means 4. 4 also, in with the accusative towards many nobles, animadverted with in means punishment, By itself, it means to focus or to notice. So he punished many nobles and multus res novos, and many new things, not revolutions, but many new things he added in his edict, concerning which would be used to crush luxuries, which already at that time were beginning to pullare, to sprout, or as what's the word for the pullets, the offspring of chicken. So yeah, it's just means growing. So luxuries were growing. 4. Around 80 years, as far as the extremity of his life, from his adolescence all the way, you might want to put it in English, from adolescence, from his youth to old age, for the sake of the double genitive of the Republic, he did not desist in making enemies. So all for his life he made enemies. A multus, by many, he was temptatus, he was tested. But not only was there no detriment made of his reputation or estimation of the reckoning of him, said, but as long as he lived, quoad vixit, he increased his virtues with praise. So he still praised. A daily dictionary, temptatus means being the active is to try or test, but this is passive here, so he was tested or tried. 3. In all rebuses and all matters, he was with a singular industry, purpose or activity. 4. At correlatives, he was an agricola solus, he was a clever farmer. He was a peritus, he was experienced jurisconsultus or lawyer. He was a great emperor or general or something. He was an orator, which means he was a speaker. He was probable, which means he was approved of. He was very desirous of letters, so he liked to read and write. Quarum studium etsi senior Euripid. So although he was a senior, a rather old man, when he Euripid took this studium of letters, that's why it's female, because it's of literums, nevertheless he made such progress that it's not easily something can be found, and when the negative, neither from the Greeks nor from the Italian rebuses, matters, which to him were incognitum. Okay, so this in is why everything's negative, which means that it's hard to find things that were not unknown to him. So if we take out all these nots, it would just be hard to find something that he didn't know, or blah 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 with all these negatives. Once a Roman sentence starts with nons, everything in it has to be negative afterwards, which is their custom. From adolescence, from a youth, he confected orations, he made speeches as a senex, he began to write histories. Of these, there are 7 books. The first contains res gestas, the things done of the kings of the Roman people. The second and third, from where the Italian cities arose, or how they were built. Quem obrem, because of which matter all these seem to have been called origins. In quarto, moreover, in the 4th book, so the Bellum Punicum is the Punic War, the Primum Punic War is the first. So the 4th book is the first Punic War. In the 5th book, the Secundum, the second. And these all are dicta sunt, these are all said capitulatum, chapter by chapter, or summary forms, short works. The rest of the wars, in an equal way, paro modo, he followed them, as far as the praetorship of Severius Galba, who diripwitted the Lusitanians. He ravaged them or something. At qui horum bellorum, and of these wars, he doesn't name the generals, but sine nominibus, without the names, he notivits the res. He wrote down the matter. In the same thing, he exposed the things which in Italy and Spain either they happened or seemed admirable, in which many industrious and diligently things he procured, but there's no doctrine in them, no teachings. Who is of him concerning his life in moribussus and his customs, much in that book we have followed, which is done separately. We've made concerning him from the asking of T. Pomponius Atticus. So Pomponius Atticus has asked him to write more, so he did it in a separate book. Therefore, those studious of Cato will delegate them or something to another volume. They can go, they're steered towards, or they can read it elsewhere.